this American epidemic.
How we're more isolated.
Morning, Christian and Ashley. Yes, we're doing a series of stories. Social distancing can make it difficult.
Smoking cigarettes.
Debilitating levels.
Even though we'd be that close together, we'd be looking out across the room.
Some people say it started with the COVID-19 pandemic, and others say it goes back to the mid-2010s. But one thing is clear. We are all currently living in the epidemic of loneliness, and it is not at all pretty. There are numerous videos on YouTube of people talking about how they have no friends, how they feel disconnected, and the effects that this has on their mental health. And believe it or not, the effects go beyond mental health and into the physical side of things. According to the US Surgeon General, loneliness can increase depression, anxiety, but also physical health challenges like dementia and high blood pressure. Some sources even say it's as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Now, whether or not that's an overstatement is up for debate, but what isn't up for debate is the existence of it. Many adults report having less than 3 close friends in total. A lot of them don't live with their families and barely have any human connection beyond the workspace. But what is the cause of this epidemic? Well, if you were to blindly believe the mass media, then we should blame smartphones, social media, and technology for all of our problems, right? Those are what makes us isolated. They take all of our attention, steal away the time better spent talking to friends in real life, and there is a link between social media use and decreased mental health. But this is nothing more than a crude oversimplification and a way to dumb it down for common people to understand. As we'll get to soon, this plays a role in all of this, but it's not the primary cause. It's mainly a symptom of a much bigger problem. And that problem is the socio-economic system we live and operate in, capitalism. Capitalism made you lonely and did it for profit and increased capital. If you'd like to find out more ways the system is doing damage to you, make sure you subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss another video, and of course like the video so it goes further in the algorithm and more people can have their eyes open to the current problems facing our modern society. To fully understand the concept to this video, we need to define a few terms, namely loneliness, capitalism, and alienation. The best way I can define loneliness is as a state of mind where you feel like you're in a crowded room but still invisible, craving connection and companionship even when surrounded by people. It's that heartache from feeling isolated despite not being physically alone, defined as sadness from lacking friends or company. Loneliness is a subjective concept and people often have to report it themselves as it's not something that can be read by looking at someone. It's a mental issue in the same way depression and anxiety are. Loneliness can often devolve into chronic loneliness, which is defined by the American Psychological Association as a state of loneliness that has been ongoing for years. Now that we've defined that, we need to explain capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system driven by the pursuit of profit, where trade and industry are controlled by private owners rather than the state. In this dynamic environment, individuals have the freedom to start businesses, make investments, and seek their fortune, all within a framework that encourages efficiency and growth. It's a blend of ambition and opportunity, where the promise of reward motivates hard work and enterprise. Or at least that's the positive definition that billionaires and free market enthusiasts want to give you. In reality, capitalism is a system where the means of production are owned by a small group of people known as the bourgeoisie and are operated by the proletariat or the working class. It often involves the bourgeoisie making money from the labor done by the working class while paying them only a fraction of it because a lot of workers are people in need of jobs as they do not own the means of production for themselves. So you're wondering, what does this political system have to do with a mental health condition? These are two different fields, right? Well, yes, but mostly no. For one, most people who suffer from loneliness are working class people who work traditional 9-to-5 jobs for 5 days a week. However, A lot of these jobs are barely livable and don't pay enough to afford housing or good vacations or any of that kind of stuff, as most people's paycheck immediately goes to food and rent without any balance to spare for comfort. A lack of comfort means living in a continuous state of financial insecurity, and that can lead to depression and anxiety. But worse than that, it means that a lot of people are forced to get second or third jobs and side hustles, sucking away whatever free time they ever had in the first place to connect with friends, go out on dates, and meet new people. There's no time to go out to a library or a park or any of those relaxing places where people used to hang out in the 90s, because a lot of people are concerned about their next meal. And I know what you're asking now is, why don't they just reach out to their family or other people in the community for support? And that is because capitalism has totally destroyed the community by placing emphasis on individuality. Imagine the neighborhoods of yesteryear, where people knew their neighbors by name, children played together in the streets, and local businesses formed the backbone of the community. In these places, relationships were built on mutual support, shared experiences, and a sense of belonging. Fast forward to today, the sense of community that once thrived in local markets and neighborhood gatherings is replaced by anonymity and disconnection, and it's making everyone feel disposable. As people become more focused on their careers and personal achievements, relationships suffer. Work takes precedence over family time and social bonds weaken. The communal spirit that once provided a safety net of support and camaraderie is gone. Instead, we find ourselves living in isolated bubbles where success is measured by individual wealth and self-sufficiency, rather than by the strength of our connections and the well-being of our communities. The hyper-focus on individualism promoted by capitalism doesn't just impact personal relationships, it also has broader societal implications. Social inequality widens as those who succeed accumulate more wealth and power, whilst those who struggle find it harder to get by. The gap between the haves and the have-nots grows, and with it, social cohesion diminishes. This divide fosters resentment and a sense of alienation among those left behind. In the relentless pursuit of profit and personal achievement, capitalism often overlooks the importance of togetherness that makes us truly human, and nowhere is that more seen than in alienation. A principle cooked by the socialist philosopher Karl Marx that applies to us today. At its core, alienation in capitalism comes from the way work is organized. Workers are often reduced to cogs in a vast machine, performing repetitive tasks that have little meaning or connection to their lives. This sense of being just a small part of a larger impersonal system leads to a feeling of powerlessness and detachment. Individuals spend long hours at jobs they don't love just to make ends meet, with little sense of fulfillment or purpose. Furthermore, capitalism's focus on profit often leads to commodification of human relationships, as seen by dating apps being the only way to fall in love these days. Social interactions are turning personal connections into economic exchanges. Social media was never the cause of the loneliness problem, it's a solution gone wrong. Because of our preoccupation with work, many of us are tired and use social media as our only source of relief, as it's low energy, low effort, and gives instant gratification. Unfortunately, on-screen connection rarely translates to physical, and when it doesn't, we simply hop onto the next person because our attention spans are fucked and we crave dopamine 24/7. In the present time, technological advancements and the gig economy have intensified these feelings of alienation. Workers in the gig economy, such as rideshare drivers and freelancers, face shaky employment conditions, lacking job security and benefits. They are often isolated, working independently without the support of traditional workplace environments. There's also social inequality and economic disparities that remind us of the system's failures. As the rich get richer and the poor struggle to get by, the sense of community and shared purpose disappears. And if you're wondering if all of this is coincidental, well, it's not. This is by design. Margaret Thatcher, the mother of neoliberal capitalism herself, God not rest her soul, once said, "There is no such thing as society. There are individual men or women." And that individualism continues to be shoved down all of our throats even when discussing loneliness as a subject. Try to think back to every advice and solution you've heard relating to this subject. It goes something like, just go outside more, Make more friends. Drop your phone and talk to somebody. Look for someone with similar hobbies as you. Try to dress and act nicer. And this isn't to say all of this advice is bad, but it strips away the socio-economic context of loneliness and reduces it to an individual problem. This causes guilt from people who feel lonely and paints them as the problem, whereas they're simply victims of an unfair system. Capitalists make no effort in hiding their role in this as they fight back against solidarity and community in the workplace in the form of union busting. Also, they paint social media and technology as a problem while ignoring the people who need it in their day-to-day lives. Many people make their living off social media and don't have the chance to see anyone. The only solution is a restructuring of the system to build a sense of community and peeling back the individuality plaguing us. Only then can we challenge the epidemic that is loneliness together.